Hi students, my name is Satyam, lecturer in Computer Science and Applications, Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal. Today's topic is programmer defined functions in C language. Generally, the programmer defined functions in C language is also called as functions in C. Already we defined the C language program. The C language program is the combination of one or more functions. The functions may be built-in functions or user defined functions. That means programmer defined functions. So each C program must contain at least one function that is called as main. The C program execution starts from main function and ends in the main function only. Like that, the C program is defined. Means the C program is the combination of one or more functions. The functions may be programmer defined functions or built-in functions, and each C program must have at least one function that is called as main. The program execution starts from the main function and ends in the main function. In this definition, there are two types of functions are there. Number one, built-in functions. Number two, programmer defined functions. What is the meaning of built-in function? The functions which are built by C software, means which are constructed by the C software, is called built-in functions. So in previous classes we will discuss some built-in functions like printf and scanf that are available in the stdio.h header file, means standard input output .h header file. Then clr ser function, it clears the output screen, that is clr ser function. It is available in conio.h header file, that is console input output .h header file. Then we used in the program like sqrt function, like abs function. Okay, these are all built-in functions, belongs to math.h header file, means the mathematical functions or belongs to built-in functions. These built-in functions are available in math.h header file. Then strlen function, string length function, strcpy, string copy function, strcmp, string comparison function. This type of functions all are belongs to built-in functions, and these built-in functions are specially belongs to string functions. So the string functions are all available in string.h header file. So like that, in C language so many types of built-in functions are there. The built-in functions all are built by the C software itself, and according to the requirement of the programmer, the functions can be used in the program. Today's class is programmer defined function. Simply, the programmer defined functions are also called as user defined functions. So in the C language there are two types of functions are there. Number one, built-in functions. Number two, programmer defined functions. Till now, previous classes we will discuss about the built-in functions. Today's topic is programmer defined functions. So observe the students carefully. Today's topic is programmer defined functions. The programmer defined functions also called as user defined functions or functions in C language. Here, while the programmer writing the C program, according to requirement of the programmer can construct a function in his own way. That type of functions are called as programmer defined functions. Means programmer or user, according to his requirement, he can construct the functions using some syntactical rules available in the C language. So this type of functions are called as programmer defined functions. Okay, definition is the functions which are built by the programmer according to the requirement of the task pani. Okay, this type of functions are called as programmer defined functions. Today we will discuss in the class how to create programmer defined functions, how many types of programmer defined functions are available in C language. These topics are covered today's class. Now, before entering into the topic, functions and its advantages. What is the definition of function and what are the advantages of functions? Okay, we will discuss. Now, function definition is like this. Function is a block of statements that solve a task or subtask of other task in the C program. Means function is a block of statements. What is the meaning of block of statement? The one or more statements clubbed together and enclosed in the curly braces means constructing the block with the help of some statements. These statements are interrelated with each other and do a particular work. That means particular task or particular subtask of the main task. Okay, this is called as the function. This is the definition of the function. Okay, for example, as a programmer, I am writing the program arithmetical operation. Program name is arithmetical operations. So for this arithmetical operations, I am constructing the sum function for addition, sub function for subtraction, mul function for multiplication, div function for division purpose. Just assume. Okay, in this example, these are all belongs to a functions that are user defined functions. These user defined function, each user defined function will perform each task of arithmetical operation. Each task of arithmetical operation. Okay, so like that the programmer can construct according to his requirement functions This type of functions are called as user defined functions or programmer defined functions. This is the advantage of a function. Then next, second point, C supports two types of functions, that is library functions and user defined functions. So just now we discussed what is library functions and what is user defined functions. Library functions means built-in functions are called as library functions. Then the programmer defined functions are all called as user defined functions. So C supports both library functions and user defined functions. Okay, these two types of functions supported by the C language. Then the library functions can be used in any program by including respective header files. The header files must be include using #include preprocessor directive. Means with the help of #include preprocessor directive, the programmer can use the library functions. The programmer used string functions in the program, so he should add a string.h header file using #include preprocessor concept. #include preprocessor concept. Okay, so same just like that. So if the programmer used mathematical operations, then he can use math.h header file. Okay, so console operations, so he can use conio.h header file. Okay, like that, according to his requirement, he can use different types of library functions in the program. That library functions are all are available in the corresponding header files. So the header files must be include with the help of #include preprocessor directive. Okay, so then next point, the programmer can also define and use his or her own functions for performing some specific tasks. Such functions are called as user defined functions. Okay, so what is the meaning of user defined function? The programmer can also define. Okay, these functions are not defined the C software. Listen carefully. These functions are defined by the programmer, means user itself, according to his requirement. That means according to his some specific task, perform some specific task, he can use, he can construct in his own way, the programmer's own way. Okay, this type of functions are all called as user defined functions. Okay, like that, these are the advantages of functions in the C language. Then some more advantages. Functions support modular programming. What is the main use of function? Function support modular programming. What is the meaning of modular programming? Modular programming means, module means a small part. Okay, if in our real life also, if you want to study some 10 chapters before the examination, we will take a schedule. As a student, we will construct a schedule. So that 10 chapters are divided into chapter wise, and again chapter wise is divided into small topic wise, that means module wise. So each module is studied in a particular date and time. So like that, we will prepare a guide, prepare a plan for writing the annual examination. Same just like that. In the C language also, if the program task is very big task is there, for example arithmetical operation task. So in this arithmetical operations task, addition is there, subtraction is there, multiplication is there, division is there, modulus is there. Okay, so these all are right by the programmer with the help of a small functions, adding function, add function, sub function, like that. Okay, so each function is called a module. Okay, so clubbing of all these modules become a big task, become a program. That's why so the function concept supports strongly modular programming concept. Okay, in the modular programming, the program is divided into small pieces, and that small pieces, modules, are clubbed each other and interrelated each other and do a task is called as modular programming task. So this type of task can easily handle with the help of functions concept. Okay, next, second advantage, function reduce program size. Function reduce program size. So in the program, if you write a task with the help of small functions, then the program size is reduced. Okay, so if the program size is reduced, then the execution time is also reduced. The execution time is reduced, then what will happen? A great advantage is there. What is that advantage? Means time consumption is very less. So if the time consumption is very less, then our program is respond in the fraction of seconds only to the user. So what will happen now? The programmer feels, oh, this is a great program. So this program solve my problem with some nanoseconds of time only. So your program now become as a good logical program. So as a programmer, okay, so while you are entering into the real-time industry, you should write the program with the reducing of execution time. Means the time consumption problem should not arise in your execution. Means while the program is executed by the compiler, your program will not take a long time, much time. So in the small time only, in the little bit of time only, your program must be executed and give the result. Then it will be a good logical program. That program is called as good logical program. So these all are belongs to reducing of a program size. That means the program contain brief lines, means some lines. With the help of some lines only, you should do the task. So the execution of little lines, that means some instructions compared to large instructions. So time execution is very less. So this is very useful in the real-time industry. So that's why the function reduce program size. If you write the program in the form of functions, then the time consumption problem is solved. The next point. Okay, next topic is use of functions avoid code duplication. Means if you use functions, the code duplication problem is avoided, means solved. If the code duplication problem is solved means the data redundancy problem is solved. So the data redundancy means the writing of same code again and again is called as the data redundancy problem. This data redundancy problem is solved with the help of functions concept. So this is also very useful in the execution of the C program. If code duplication is there in the program, the compiler again and again concentrate on the execution, and the programmer again and again write the data repeatedly, so his time also wasted. Okay, so that's why the data redundancy problem must be solved in the programming technique. So it is very useful and very important good practice. Okay, so your program contain free from data redundancy. So this concept is done with the help of functions concept. Okay, then next, functions provide code reusability. This is also a very important. So this is also comes under to the data redundancy. Okay, so if you write a particular function code, then that function is applicable whenever you want, wherever you want, in the other programs also. Okay, so that's why the functions provide a important concept, that is code reusability concept. Then next, functions can be called respectively as per requirement. Okay, so for example, in the program there are 10 functions are there, or so many functions are there. According to requirement of the programmer can call some functions from that group of functions. For example, in ponyo.h header file, there are so many functions are there. I want to use only CLR SCR function for clearing the output screen. For that purpose, just simply that group of functions, I am used only CLR SCR function in my program. Okay, like that the functions can be called respectively as per requirement. Okay, then next, a set of functions can be used from libraries. Okay, so some equal characteristics, equal work behavior functions are kept in a separate libraries. That is also very useful concept while we are doing the programming in the C language. Okay, these are the functions and functions advantages. Okay, then if a user want to construct a function according to his requirements, so the function is called as user defined function. So this user defined function have the following parts. That means the parts of a user defined function. Okay, so first one, function prototype. What is the meaning of prototype? Prototype means a syntactical rule, or the behavior of the function is called as function prototype. Okay, that means a function will take what type of arguments into the function. After completion of the execution, what type of values it is written. Okay, so this total information is declared in the declaration part with the help of prototype declaration. Okay, for example, vivo id void. Okay, so vivo id void, then sum, function name is sum. So this user defined function sum will not take any arguments into the program. That means empty parenthesis. After completion of the execution, it will not return anything to the caller function. Okay, so that means this prototype declaration explains the function will not take any arguments and will not return any arguments. Okay, so like that the function prototype explains about the behavior of user defined function. Behavior of user defined function. Next, definition of the function. So when the function is called means when the function is executed, ready to execute in the program. So which type of tasks can be done by that function? Okay, that can be defined as a program. Okay, so that is called as definition of the function. Means with the definition of the function only, the user defined function is executed. For example, if you take sum, okay, so the sum function will receive two numbers and add two numbers and return the value. So this total is available in the part of definition of a function. Okay, then next function call. So according to requirement of the programmer can call the function in anywhere in the program. That means in a particular place, in the particular statement, the programmer want to call a sum function simply with the technique of a function call technique. Okay, he can call that function. Okay, so like that the function call is a mechanism to call the function. When the function is called, then the execution, the process of execution is start from top to bottom in the function. Next, actual and formal arguments. Okay, so what is the actual arguments and what are the formal arguments? In the functions concept, a function is called another function. That function is called as caller function. A function is called another function, so the function is called as caller function. Next, a function is called by another function, then that type of function are called as calling function. So in the functions concept, there are two types of functions are there. What is caller function and one more calling function. Okay, so what is the definition of caller function? Caller function means the function which calls another function. That function is called as caller function. Then the functions which are called by another function, that functions are called as calling functions. సింపుల్ గా చెప్పాలి అంటే ఏ ఫంక్షన్ అయితే వేరే ఫంక్షన్స్ ని పిలుస్తుందో ఆ ఫంక్షన్ ని కాలర్ ఫంక్షన్ అని అంటారు. ఏ ఫంక్షన్ అయితే వేరే ఫంక్షన్స్ చేత పిలువబడుతుందో అటువంటి ఫంక్షన్ ని ఏమని పిలుస్తారు? కాలింగ్ ఫంక్షన్ అంటారు. ఓకే, సో దెన్ like this there are two types of functions are there in the program, in the C program. What is caller function, another one is calling function. Okay, so in the explanation of a program I will deeply explain these topics. Okay, I will explain with the help of a example program today's class. Okay, so in that situation I will explain deeply what is actual arguments, what are the formal arguments. Okay, then next, the return statement. What is the meaning of return statement? After function of execution of the function return a value to the caller function. The returning value, the giving value after completion of the execution is called as a return statement. Like that, a user defined function means a programmer defined function have the following parts, that is function prototype, then definition of a function, then function calling, then in the function calling actual and formal arguments concept, and then last the return statement concept is also there. So with the help of all these parts, the user defined functions are executed successfully in the program. Then come to first one, function prototype. So the function prototype specifies the following things. Number one, name of the function. Next, type of values it return. Then type and number of arguments it takes. Okay, these three concepts, these three characteristics is defined in the function prototype concept. Okay, observe carefully at the end of the slide. Here I am underlining. So the function sum is a user defined function. The user defined function will receive two values, that is one float value, another integer value. After completion of the execution, the sum function return float value. Okay, so this is the prototype declaration, the seventh point. This is the prototype declaration of the function. So the function prototype specifies the name of the function. Here name is sum. Then types of value it returns. So after completion of the execution, the sum function return float value. Okay, second point is over. Third point, type and number of argument it takes. The function will take type. Type means okati float data type value, another integer data type value, that is type. Type and number of arguments. Number of arguments are two. Okay, so one is one float and another integer. So two arguments it will be taken. Like that, the function prototype will specifies name of the function, type of values it return, then type and a number of arguments it take. Okay, then when the programmer defines the function, the header of the function must be like its prototype declaration. Okay, so one more rule is there while we are constructing the user defined function. The prototype declaration must be matched the header of the function definition. While the function is defined by the programmer, while the function is written in the programming, the prototype declaration of the function and definition of the function heading both are same only. Both must be same only. Then only the compiler can understand the prototype declaration specified function and definition specified function both are same. Otherwise the compiler will treat both are different. Okay, so that's why while when the programmer defines the function, the header of the function must be like its prototype declaration. Then next, if the programmer makes a mistake, the compiler flags an error message. Just now we discussed. That means if the programmer take any mistake while declaring prototype declaration and while defining the programming function definition, simply the compiler flags an error message. Flags an error message means gives an error message. Okay. Next. The prototype declaration statement is always terminated with semicolon. So that means a prototype declaration statement must be terminated with the semicolon, and the prototype declaration must be declared in the declaration part of the program. That is also important. Next. Observe the following examples. That examples explain function prototype declarations. First one is void show. Void means the show function will not take any arguments into the program, into the function. After completion of the execution, it will not return anything. So if a function will not return anything to the caller function, simply mention the data type as void, VOID, void keyword. Void keyword means if you mention the void keyword before the function, it tells like this: the function will not return anything after completion of the execution. After completion of the execution. So the void is a data type. It tells nothing. It tells nothing. Nothing will be written by the function. Then observe the second example. So the second example, the function user defined function name is sum. It take two arguments. Okay, one is float data type and another one is integer data type. After completion of the execution of some function, so it returns a value that is float. Okay, like that the function prototype explain behavior of the function. Then next come to function definition. The first line is called function header and it followed by the function body. The block of statement followed by the function header is called as function definition. How the programmer define the function means the first line is called as function header. First of all, you have to write the function header first. Then the block of statement followed by the function header. You can construct the block. In that block, you should write a group of statements according to the requirement of the task. Then this is called as function definition. Then the header and function prototype should be match each other. Okay, the prototype declaration of the function and the header of the definition of the function both are matched together. That's why only the compiler will treat like this, both are same. Okay, next the function body is enclosed with curly braces. Okay, so you should write the group of statements for doing a particular task that must be enclosed in the curly braces. Okay, that means curly braces. Okay, so like this. Then if the function is defined before its call, okay, this is also a very important thing. So before definition, if the function is called by the caller programmer, caller function, then which is executed? Nothing will be executed. Which statements are executed? Nothing statements are executed. That's why you should define before its call, before its use. Okay, so without any preparation, without any study, you cannot attempt the examination. Same just like that, before definition of the function, before defining the function, you cannot call the function in the program. That is very important. Then its prototype declaration is optional. Okay, so like that the function definition is very important while you are declaring a user defined function. Then next function call. The function gets activated only when a call to the function is invoked. A function must be called by its name followed by arguments list enclosed in the parenthesis and terminated by the semicolon. Like this, the function call can be called. The function gets activated only when a call to function is invoked, means whenever necessity is there, the function necessity is there, simply with the help of that name you can call the function. Then automatically in the execution the function is invoked, activated and do the task. Okay. Then a function must be called by its name. Function must be called by its name. With the help of the function name only, the function is called. Okay. So if you want to clear screen of your output screen, you should use CL or SCR function name. Okay. So same just like that, in the user defined function also, there are so many functions are available that functions must be called with the help of name only. With the help of name only. Okay. So then the name followed by the list of arguments enclosed in the parenthesis. Okay. What type of values you have to move into the function, so that must be written in the parenthesis. Okay. So parenthesis means like this. In the parenthesis, okay, you should mention the arguments list. You should mention the arguments list. Then, so the function call must be terminated with the semicolon. What's it? It is a common rule. Okay, each and every statement in the C language must be terminated with the semicolon. Okay, like that the function call is called by the caller function. Then actual arguments and formal arguments. The caller function calling a function, a specific function, while the control is moved from caller function to the calling function, caller function to the calling function, the control is moved from caller function to the calling function. Then what will happen? The control is moved from caller function to the calling function. So while the control is moving from caller function to the calling function, the arguments are pushed from the caller function to the calling function. Arguments means variable names. Variable names means the values contain the values. Means in the simple manner the values. Okay, the values means the variables are pushed from caller function to the calling function. Okay, so that type of variables are called as actual arguments. In the simple manner, the definition of actual arguments are the variables which are giving the values from caller function to the calling function, then the type of variables are called as actual arguments. Then that means in the function call actual arguments are available. In the function call actual arguments are available. Means in the caller function the actual arguments are available. Then calling function means in the calling function the variables are ready to receive the values which are pushed from the caller function, then the type of variables are called as formal arguments. Okay, the formal arguments have the capacity to receive values from the caller function. So that type of variables are called as formal arguments. The next, the return statement. The return statement is used to return values to the caller function. The return statement returns only one value at a time. When a return statement is encountered the compiler transfer the control of the program to caller function. The syntax of return statement is as follows, simply with the help of return, return, that's all, semicolon. Okay, so with the help of return function name, the value is written from calling function to caller function after execution of the user defined function. So like that, with the help of all these rules and regulations, the user defined functions are successfully executed in the program. Okay, here what I am explained till now, I will explain with the help of example. Okay, so example program. Here observe the example program very carefully. Here main program is there. Here main program is from this place to this place. Then next another program is there, another function is there, that is sum function. So in my program, observe carefully, in my program there are two functions are there. First one is main function and the second one is sum function. First one is main function, second one is sum function. Okay, so the main function calls the sum function, that's why the main function is called as caller function. The main function is called as caller function. Here the sum function is called by the main function in this statement. In this statement a function call is there. So the sum function is called by the main function, that's why the sum function is called as calling function. Okay, so simple ga cheppali ante the main function calls the sum function, that's why the main function is called as caller function. Then the sum function is called by main function, so the sum function is called as calling function. Okay, like that in the C program a caller function concept is there and the calling function concept is there. Caller function concept is there and calling function concept is also there. Here the sum function is a user defined function. This user defined function prototype I declared in the declaration part. So here I mentioned function prototype. Okay, so according to our knowledge, what is the use of a function prototype? The function prototype tells three things. First one is the function name. The function name is sum. Okay, then second one, how many arguments it receives. So the sum function receives two arguments, means two variables, two values. Values means arguments and variables, both are same. Okay, so the sum function will receive two values, that is one is float value, another one is integer value. So this two arguments it will be received. Two arguments received, in that two arguments one is float value, one is integer value. Okay, like that the sum function will receive the two arguments. Then after completion of the sum program execution, sum function execution, it returns a float value. It returns a float value. Okay, so with the help of function prototype, simply we can understand like this. The function name is, the user defined function name is a sum. It receives two arguments, one is float argument and one is integer argument. After completion of the execution, it returns the float value. Okay, so this is the explanation about function prototype in the program. Then next, the main function contain totally 3 variables, that is x variable is a float and y variable is a float and contain 2.4 and z variable. So the z variable have the integer variable and it contain the value as 5. So the main function have 3 variables, that is x variable, y variable, z variable. X comma y both are belongs to float data type and z variable is belongs to integer data type. Then next line, here x is assigned to sum of yz. X is assigned to sum of yz. So this is called as function call with actual arguments in the parenthesis. That means here I am calling the function. So that means the main caller function is calling some function. Okay, so now what will happen? The control is move from this line to function definition. That means caller function to calling function. The control is moved from caller function to calling function. Okay, so this is happened when the function is called in this line. Okay, this is called as function calling. Now the control is moved from caller function to calling function. So while is a transfer from caller function to calling function, it will take the two values, that is y comma z value. The y variable contain 2.4 value and z variable contain 5 value. So the y comma z variables are called as actual arguments. Okay, so like that the actual arguments are the donors to the calling function. Okay, so like that we will justify that the variables which behave like a donors from the caller function to the calling function, that variables are called as actual arguments. The actual arguments all are belongs to caller function only, but the variables belongs to caller function all are not actual arguments. Some only belongs to actual arguments. So why I define this line? Means here x variable is there. Observe carefully. Here x variable is there. The x variable is belongs to caller function, but it will not donate value to the calling function. That's why this x variable is not called as actual argument. Not called as actual arguments. Only y comma z variables only called as actual arguments. Okay, next. Now the control is coming from caller function to calling function, and the two values, that is 2.4 comma 5, are pushed from caller function to calling function. Now in the calling function execution, so totally this calling function execution. Okay, so this is called as the definition of the function. Okay, in the definition of the function, the first line is called as function header. Okay, so in the function header there are two variables are there, so that is j variable and the k variable. The j variable and k variable will receive the values from the caller function. So the j variable and the k variable are called as formal arguments. Means the formal arguments have the capacity to receive the values which are coming from the caller function. Okay, so that type of variables are called as formal arguments. Now the formal arguments are belongs to calling function. formal arguments are belongs to calling function. Now observe carefully what will happen. Now 2.4 is assigned in the j variable and 5 value is assigned in the k variable. Okay, the j variable, k variables both are called as formal arguments. Then come to execution. So simply with the help of return statement I am clubbing that j comma k values, that is 2.4 plus 5, that is 7.4. the answer is 7.4. so the 7.4 value after completion of the calling function execution again written to the same place of the statement, same line of the statement. That means in this line the control is moved from RHS side, right hand side. That's why the 7.4 value is also pushed at the place of RHS side only. Okay, now the 7.4 value is stored in the X. So simply I will print with the help of printf statement, the X value will be print out on the output screen. Like that, a user defined function can be executed successfully in the C language with the help of prototype declaration, function prototype declaration, and function definition and function calling. Okay, if you write a user defined function prototype declaration in the proper manner and function calling in the proper manner and function definition in the proper manner, then the user defined functions are successfully executed in the C program. So till now, today's class we will discuss the types of functions. Especially today's class we will discuss about the user defined functions. Today's topic is user defined functions. Okay, so the user defined functions parts and the user defined functions behavior, then the user defined functions uses, and what are the prototype declaration, and what is the calling of the function, and what is the definition of the function, and what is the actual arguments, and what are the formal arguments in the user defined functions. So till now today's class all these topics are covered. Okay, so listen carefully and practice carefully, then the user defined function concept is very important topic, important concept in the C language. Okay, thank you one and all.